Well, the sun came out, so maybe we'll get some sunshine today. I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't mind it being overcast. It rained a lot last night. I have to go check the rain gauge. There was water through there, so I got to get some Flex Seal and spray more around the air conditioner seal up there. Hopefully that'll help. You know how life is. It doesn't really happen that much around here, so it doesn't leak very much, and then it dries out real fast because this is a very dry desert community. But you know, we don't build to last, and civilization, we build to run civilization because we're stupid as fuck. You know, watching Grease. I started out watching Lilies in the Field. Aren't you glad that I'm me and you're not? 76% off Summer Savings Empire today. You know, aren't you glad that I'm the Messiah? That I'm the Redeemer of the Gospels? That I'm the one who is the heart of Psalms and the seed of Proverbs, and not you people selling acne patches and shit, you know, for kids to get, you know, to put on to get their, you know, stuff out. I'm pretty certain, you know, when you're sitting there watching this stuff and they're going to school, right? It's what's the name of the movie again? What's the name of the movie again? Grease, right? Remember going to school. Remember laying your clothes out beside your bed with your brand new Converse and your best outfit that you went shopping for to wear for your first day of school. You remember that? Boy, youth is wasted on school, huh? I remember Professor Torres, you know, youth is wasted on the young. That's not true. Youth is wasted on the egos of the educators. Yeah, yeah. How many years, ni la mía, no quiero saber, was youth forged by the loving hands of the hands that rock the cradle and the hands that plant the crops, you know, that herded the sheep, you know. You trying to tell me that Richard Milhouse Nixon was a better man than Abraham? That Pharaoh was a better man than Moses? That Caesar was a better man than Jesus? And that you're a better man than me? Ni la mía, no quiero saber, right? You really don't want to know, do you? Right? Commercials, 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 commercials. All these commercials, right? All these people pretending to be somebody leaving a historical legacy. That's Fernando Lamas's little boy. You look marvelous. Wonderful, marvelous. You know. Be careful, don't, you know. When you jump over hurdles, you don't leap over them. You kind of like step over them. Yeah, you ever done the hurdles? You don't, if you leap over them, you waste time. So you run and you put your leg up over the hurdle, and then you extend yourself over the hurdle. You literally don't jump over it. You're literally just sticking your leg up high and extending your body over the hurdle. That's how you hurdle. And you step up with your, I think it's, I step up high with my right foot, and then pull my left knee up even to, you know, pull it over and step down with my left, and, you know, step, you know, come over. And yeah, so that's how I high hurdled. I would stick my right foot up, like, you know, Zulu dancing, when you stick your leg up over your head, you know, kick your leg up real high, like Earl Lloyd and Bill Russell, you know. So yeah, kick your leg up. I used to be able to do that. Can't do it no more. I was remembering youth, and sometimes your mind and your mind still remembers youth. Sitting there watching Sarah listen to Rodney Dangerfield jokes and stuff. Boy, I tell you, I was ugly. I tell you, I was like, when I was born, the doctor slapped my mother. Boy, I was ugly. Okay. Old Rodney Dangerfield. He didn't tell that joke, yeah, but he probably did. Boy, I tell you, I can't catch a break. Yeah, he was funny. He made a lot of money off of making fun of himself and his family and his wife and just everybody, his kids. So you'll have kids of your own. Maybe you will too. With his son. That show is funny. I was like on Benny Hill with, good night, mother of 6. Good night, father of 1. I was like, oh yeah, I've been there, done that. Does it? Nah, you don't. If you let this hell form your relationship with kids, the kids are going to be stuck in eternal wretchedness because you guys, play God with your brains all the time. And you can't do that to kids. Kids are way too cute. They're given life by the truth of creation and not the loins of the fucker who tries to breed Willem Wallace off the face of the planet because William Longshanks is a fucking Buckingham Palace, a royal coach pile of shit, right? You guys still upset because you didn't win the goddamn fucking football game? Well, pull your head out of your fucking asses and tell your daddy's a prick. Tell grandma she wasn't worth a shit because she could never stand up and be as legit as Haile Selassie or me. Tell the League of Nations that the United Nations is never a nation. It's just one planet with one body of water to provide the water we need to sustain life for our children. Okay? God damn, William and Harry, you suck. Tell Charles he's still an asshole. I don't give a fuck if he is a Scorpio. He's Ike fucking Turner. Damn, you guys are assholes. Yeah. Jude Bellingham's a fine football player. Yeah, but is he a good person? Will he stand up for the Lord's Prayer? Harry Kane is the king. Yeah, but is he able of getting up and standing up for the perfection of the living Messiah? Oh, well, then fuck him. Because that's all he's doing. He's making money to fuck. I tell you, I can't catch a break. I tell you, the way we're judged by our deed, and I'm so fucking ugly. Every time I wake up in the morning to brush my teeth, I want to gag myself. Every time I think about talking, I want to slap myself. What happens? Then I remind myself how much money I have to fuck, and I tell myself I'm okay. You've been struck by a smooth criminal, huh? Annie, are you okay? Annie Oakley, huh? Sheriff Roy Bean. George Custer, Wayne Marauder. George Custer, Wayne Marauder. They actually made a TV show making that murderer that murdered people to try to be president into a fucking hero with a supermodel guy playing him, a guy that looked like Alan Jackson. You go look at the pictures and you're like, he was not as attractive as Alan Jackson or Wayne Marauder. We all know that. You can look at photographs of George Armstrong Custer. The guy who thought he was being Janis Joplin to be president. He was brave. He finished last in his class, and he did whatever it took to win. And if he ended up getting killed winning, at least he'd go down as somebody that was brave enough to do whatever it took to win. Cavalier and buckskin, right? George Armstrong Custer, Tom Custer, the dumbass fucking Custer. At Fort Huachuca when Earl was there cleaning up that mess, saying he ain't going to betray Little Hawk and High Hump and He Dog and Crazy Horse again. Betrayed them? He never had any devotion to them. He never had any appreciation for them. He was never taught how to be a man for over 10,000 years, and he still doesn't know how. And I've been teaching him before I ever showed up in Cochise County. And he still thinks he's a better man than me if his ass is stupid enough to be alive right now. Right? Beauty school dropout. Flunk shampoo. Was that Frankie Avalon? It is. It is Frankie Avalon. Okay. You think he's a business partner of the Custers? It's really hard to sit down and talk to the reporter from the Sierra Vista Herald and talk coherently and sell cars and insurance, and then say to yourself, why isn't my life the story in the book of Revelation? I don't know. You tell me, Last Standers. Come on now, baby, tell me. This is makes people famous. Yeah, makes people famous. People are famous. These people are iconic, man. This was an iconic summer. That was the summer that Tracy Sampson told me that a little girl that was with a bunch of bigots making fun of my Mexican family slapped me in the face because I got mad because they kept abusing me and talking shit about my brother-in-law. And I got up and I said, yeah, it's nothing. I'm not worried about it because I don't care what you think because you're nothing but a bunch of white trash. And this little girl got up and slapped me in the face. And I started to cry, not because it hurt, but because I was so angry. And Walter McKinney got up and said, y'all need to just leave him alone. And then our teacher came in and she was black and she sent us to the principal's office. Yeah. Me and Walter. Yeah. Because she was black. And I was Mexican according to them, and Walter was black and she was black. And if she stood up for me and Walter, she would have all the white parents attacking us, you know, the white trash. Custer's Last Stand, right? And when you're near me, darling, can you hear me? SOS. Had a crush on the girl in the choir. She's a little black girl singing her little heart out up there. The love you gave me, nothing. I never talked to her. But then on the way home on the bus, there was this pretty little brown-haired white girl. Okay. And she sat there and told me, you know, you got what you deserved. I was like, well, what did I get what I deserved? She goes, you got slapped for talking mess, right? You had to come in and you got what you deserved. I was like, what are you talking about? She said, yeah. It's like, do you know what happened? You know, gossip, you know, like all you people that sell food and the chef has to bring food to your house and your mom and dad can't teach you how to cook and you don't have to learn how to, it's you like that, well, you'll like mine and I'll show you how, right? Mom doesn't know how to make macaroni and cheese. Grandma Bowen doesn't know how to make macaroni and cheese. You know. You don't know how to fry chicken. You don't know how to scrub collard greens. You don't know how to scrub pig intestines and smother them in hot sauce with the picture of Gabriel Iglesias' daddy on it. Yeah, that's what Uncle, what was his uncle's name again? Carl's uncle. He was a nice guy. He was not a Cunningham. He was Mrs. Cunningham's brother. Uncle Donald, yeah. Uncle Donald sat there and we were having chitlins and he said, here, you know, a lot of people, he looks at me and goes, it's hard for a lot of people to get used to it. He goes, he goes, you're from New Mexico? Yeah. He goes, put a lot of this on it. He gave me the Tabasco sauce. He goes, you put a lot of this on it. And it'll taste all right. And he was right. You need a lot of Tabasco sauce. And then you can eat it. This is what you need. You need a lot of Tabasco sauce. He was really nice. Yeah, his Uncle Donald was a sweetheart. Her brother, yeah, he took us cruising down Main Street. We spent the whole night listening to 8 tracks of Barry Gibb, you know, Bee Gees and Saturday Night Fever, and KC and the Sunshine Band. I want to put on my boogie shoes and boogie with you, looking for girls. He wasn't going to get any. He had his nephew and his best friend sitting in the back seat. Yeah, we were 10 years old. He had 2 10-year-olds in the back seat. Took him cruising with him, you know. So he wasn't really going to hook up with any girls and have a Kaneki 25-cent insurance policy in his wallet. He was just out, you know, having a good time with his friends and showing the kids of town and, you know, driving around in the car and listening to music, you know. Crazy things that planet destroyers and cancer causers do because we're stimulating Custer's economy at his last stand. And you and me, we all died at Wounded Knee, right? Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Anytime one of us is murdered, over dreams and ambitions and delusions of being the great father, of the great mother, of the gods of the universe. When one of us is murdered, we're all murdered. When one of us is devalued, we're all devalued. When one of us is marginalized and turned to scan the code and get your Yaploply and your Yapdobi and get prepped to fuck each other before you go in the club. I was like, boy, she's cute, but I think she's a he. On the commercial for the Discovery one or whatever, where they're all going in the club, and prep yourself before you fuck each other to death. It's healthcare. We care about you. You don't give a fuck about me, and you don't give a fuck about my children. You don't give a fuck about my wife, and you don't give a fuck about my family. Okay? You don't give a fuck. Okay? If there's going to be a fuck, it's going to cost lots of money, and you're going to get it, right? Look out behind you. JoJo's got his gun. Yeah, and Saturday Night Fever, they showed the script and his business partners and all that. What do you think? This movie sucks. And it's going to be a complete flop. And I don't want my music attached to it. They read the script. It's a terrible movie. You ever seen Saturday Night Fever? It sucks. It's a horrible movie. The only thing that sold the movie was the disco club, the guy dancing, and Barry's music. Okay? But they wrote an original score and soundtrack. And Barry wrote stuff and it promoted the movie, right? But, Grease reminds you of the good old days, good times I remember, and the stupidity of being in school and being indoctrinated and institutionalized. And don't you just love Blanche? It's all smudge. She's so cute. She's just adorable. She's like the secretary for Rooney. Makes you look like an ass is what he does. The freakoids, they all think he's a righteous dude. Don't you love? I love the sweetheart ladies. All the sweethearts at the schools that are the sweetheart ladies that do all the paperwork for the bureaucracy and put up with all the obnoxious, condescending, arrogant dictation and legislation bullshit. And are the ones that, it's okay, honey, this only lasts for 12 years, then you get out, and then you can either, Margaret doesn't care, and Peggy plays organ in the Presbyterian Church, and what happened to Mavis, no one really knows, and, but the class of 2017 had its dreams. Life gets complicated when you get past 18. No, it gets complicated the moment they rip you away from your parents and put you into institutionalization, incarceration, through indoctrination. Life gets complicated the moment they come in the house and write on pieces of paper, he signed your bill, now you're a law, and this is your script. Right? And Marty's trying to have sex with a celebrity because he's on television. And he makes lots of money off of holding what we need to live given to us by the glory of God and natural laws hostage, because the devil lives here. The devil doesn't live here. The devil keeps us from living here. The devil denies us freedom. The devil denies us truth. The devil denies us the proof of the Redeemer of the Gospels. The devil is horrible. And hey, that's Sha-na-na. Grease for peace. Old Bowser, he was the bass man. Right? Remember that? Oh, melody. Remember old Grease? Or no, Sha-na-na, that was the name of it. Yeah, I was like, that's not Johnny Casino and the Gamblers. That's Sha-na-na, man. It's Sha-na-na. And that's not Kaniki. That's what was his name again? Was he on Taxi before or after Grease? I didn't watch Grease until after. I didn't watch it that summer. Lisa and and Tracy Sampson were really into Grease. They watched it and did the movie because her mom, it was her mom's generation, my dad's mom's generation, and yeah, and stuff. And they were talking about the stuff, and then they were telling you all the inaccuracies, and because her mom pointed it out and told her, no, that was cute. Yeah, but yeah, and I remember when Tracy got all the gossip, and she sat there and she said, yeah, no, she slapped you because you insulted Cherokee people. Said, my grandfather's a Musselwhite. Why would I insult Cherokee people? And she looked at me and said, you're part Cherokee? That's what I'm told. Why would I say something about that? And I said, no, my brother-in-law is Mexican, and they were all talking crap about my Mexican brother-in-law. So I called them white trash, and she slapped me. Tracy's attitude changed for me radically, which told me that she had good parents. And she did. Yeah. The Sampsons didn't give us trouble because we'd sing Diana Ross and Natalie Cole songs at the bus stop. And that, they didn't sit there and say, you can't hang out with Earl Parsons. His sister's dating Ricky Townsend, the basketball player at the high school, who's probably going to get a basketball scholarship to, if not Washington or Washington State, maybe the University of Idaho or Montana. Yeah, well, Ricky was greatest bulldog, and so was his sister Vicky. They were twins. They were greatest bulldog their senior year at Pasco High School. And my sister dated him one summer. Yeah, and we left after that summer. Yeah. I was the star of the basketball team. My sister was dating the star of the basketball team. But why did Dad move? Because of the nuclear power plant and the dam. He didn't like living upstream or downstream from dams. When we lived in Colville, the reason why we lived in Colville and we didn't live in Deer Park or Spokane is because Dad wanted to be upstream from the dam. That's why we lived in Colville and we didn't stay in Chewelah and didn't go down to Deer Park. He wanted to be on the non-business end of the dam. That always bothered my father. He hated that here in Cruces, and I remembered how far away it was. It's like, Dad, it's so far away that if they set the thing up and stuff like that, we'll all get up to Lookout Point, Inspiration Point, Lookout Point, and watch the water wash away, the adobe and everybody else. But we'll live through it, But it was all his hard work, It wasn't worrying about us dying like in Noah's time. It was about, paying $13,000 for that house and the dam washing all that hard work away. It was about, I had an uncle named Matthew, was his father's only boy, born just south goes again, but living next to, and it's because your dad was racist. No, it wasn't because my dad was racist, because Linda married Jerry Alvear. It was because Hanford, he didn't want to be near a dam and a nuclear power plant in case the dam went. And that made perfect sense to me, right? In Palo Verde and Phoenix, he left Phoenix. He went to San Diego. He didn't live anywhere near a dam. My dad read the Bible, natural disasters, and he would always try to go to places where the natural disasters wouldn't be quite so catastrophic. And he's always still to this day worried about, we need to build a house that won't burn down, an adobe house that will not catch fire and burn down, But we don't share caregiving according to need built to last. Okay, this is Europa. This is the guns and ammunitions. They are the devil's invention, right? It's a mad, mad world we're living in. We're living in a sad, sad world we're living in. Some men and women can't stop them working in the devil workshop, right? I'm not afraid of the devil and his army. We don't have an army in Israel. We have a bunch of gracious good shepherds that will stand up to teach people to live peace. And if that doesn't work, we've got Samson, we've got David, and we've got Earl. And even in the 21st century, like in the time of my brother, my father, my son, Haile Selassie, you know, David will always protect us from being raped off the planet by Goliath. Okay. And stem cell research departments at HBCUs, right? Okay, Ramesses the Great. Okay, William Longshanks. When you invent someone that's trying to rape you off the face of the planet and build a giant monument to her womb and her vagina and your penis, okay, don't bitch about what color the reflecting pond is. You're all fucking assholes. And if you don't get it, Seth Meyers, you have my body, you little bitch. Okay? You need to stand up too sweet so I can get to the mountains and recover. And if you think your business partners are going to outlast me and kill me and then laugh over my dead body, okay? I don't have to outrun the bear. I just got to outrun you. And I'm the fastest human being ever clocked in the history of the United States and probably the world, because they didn't have clocks back in the day when maybe guys were faster. I don't know if they were faster. I don't really care. I don't have to outrun nobody, right? I'm not running a 200-mile marathon to impress people, to kill people for the government. I'm not a Navy SEAL. I'm not Nate Reynolds and David Goggins. I'm Earl. You know, I'm Dad from Luanda, so we ain't selling hero acne patches for kids to smile about, you know, what they think is attractive. You stand up for Lord's Prayer? Okay, well then you're not very attractive. Okay, you holding food hostage in plastic and saying you're having a sale? Okay, that's not very attractive. Okay, what's attractive? Standing up for the Messiah so children can live in Lord's Prayer instead of being on car commercials to play soccer to stimulate the economy and kill people with cancer. And then have the kids excited and clapping about it, no matter how cute the kids are, right? They must be in San Francisco with that hill they driving up there. When the lights go down in your city and the sun goes down on the bay, oh, you want to be there in that city? Okay, just fuck your city. Fuck the town. Fuck everybody. Get on the BART and keep driving it till you die. And then pass it on to your kid. And carjacking, remember that when we I joke about that with people, you know, they have carjackings and stuff. It's like, welcome to Oakland. They've been doing that ever since they've been able to drive in Oakland. As soon as the lights go down, all the people in San Francisco get the hell out of Oakland. They'll steal your car. Yeah. You know, that whole thing of carjacking is like, guys, this is okay. When Oakland hits San Francisco, it's a problem, right? When Harlem hits the Hamptons, it's a problem, right? Remember Professor Coffeen at Phoenix College? You know, we've always had a drug problem in the United States of America. It doesn't become a drug problem until it hits the landed aristocracy, right? Landed aristocracy. You're a professional basketball player. You're a super diva. It's not a problem till it hits the landed aristocracy. Your cleats, your cause, your stadium, your team, your logo, your, what's that shit they talked about and they were all bitching about? Your the bitch, the EA Sports Series stuff, where, you know, the pay something, whatever is to get upgrades. Upgrades, huh? It's a fashion show and exercise broke out. Come on now, baby. Come on now, baby. Come. And who is the best exerciser in the history of exercisers in your generation and mine too? Me. Okay? And what's the fashion? There is no fashion. Okay? Make sure everybody has what they need. Make sure they feel loved and respected. Okay? If your hair has to be shaved because of chemical poisoning, don't feel bad. I'm the most gorgeous, most protecting, brave, intelligent man on the whole planet, and I have to do it too. They make fun of you because you had psoriasis and stuff because of chemical poisoning and stress. They did it to me too. Okay. Yeah, they use legislation to inflict it on me, through people and have my neighbors feel bad about it. But it's like, I know you got to pay your bills. I know you're not Bill Gates. I know you're not Mark Zuckerberg. I know you're not NASA and the NASA channel and the Bloomberg network. I tell you, man, when I'm going after the head of the snake, I will get the head of the snake. I will be the best dancer at St. Bernadette's with the worst fucking reputation. You bet your ass. And I'll tell you, get Discovery for prep, and I will look good in a dress. And I look better in a dress. My sister said that when they put a dress on me and heels and pantyhose on. She's got, hey, Earl's got better legs than all of us girls do. Dad was mad. When Linda did that, he was pissed. He got home and, they were joking about it. And Dad was like, "Hey, do that to my boy." Oh, he was pissed. I just kind of laughed. I was like 6 years old. Linda dressed me up in the girls' clothes to see how I looked in it. And she, God, he's got nicer legs than all of us. I do. What do you guys think? You think I got nicer legs than my sisters? I don't know. The calves and everything like that. Amy, you think I got nicer legs than you? I don't. No. My Amy has, Natalie would ask me that because Natalie's got Kelly's hands and feet, and she's got big hands and big feet, right? And Amy has, like Emily has, they got little tiny feminine hands and tiny little feminine feet. And as a male, when Amy touches you with her tiny little feminine hands, you feel so, she can't touch you enough. And then she'd go, loving, touching, squeezing someone else all the time because you wouldn't do everything she wanted, and you didn't do everything she wanted. She wouldn't give you affection and sex. And then she'd go out and screw somebody else, and they'd kick her to the curb, and then she'd give you affection and sex because you'd take her back in, and then you'd start all over again in 6 months. She said, "I'm bipolar." It's like, you're not bipolar. You're being fucked in the head and abused by assholes. And they put you on patterns, and then you believe those patterns, and then you think Tom Cruise can save you because he can explain to you psychology. He's an asshole. God, yes. You gave him a fucking aircraft carrier? What you need to give him is a reality pill and have him sit and listen to my videos and constantly remind himself that him and Dave Miscavige are home invasion, child molesting, murdering, raping perverts doing business with the same, and that the only thing that can save them is public recognition of my existence, and then forgive, debt, and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful, peace. When the truth comes out, there ain't gonna be enough jails you can send them to, like LG said, right? Okay. You guys cool? That's why you're not the Messiah. That's not why you're going to correct technology. I say things, I can't believe he said that in front of people. You do know I'm the most surveyed person in the history of the world, and David Rockefeller has just extensive surveillance on you, okay? And you've done far worse things in your life, okay, before you met me and after you met me than I've ever done. The things you think about, the things you want to do, the sex you want to have, the things you fantasize about, and he knows it all. He knows your search engine history. He knows what you've looked at. He knows what you've masturbated to. David Rockefeller has you signed, sealed, and delivered. He's locked your pages in hell, all you self-righteous Messiah Valley Christian sunblazers, okay? So don't you ever think I talk about things that are inappropriate. I'm saving your family from you, okay? You need a Lord and Savior. His name is Earl, and he eternally loves you. And aren't you glad that I'm me and you're you? And I'm the me from the Lord from the book of Revelation to redeem the gospels so we can live the gospels of the real Messiah and not the comic book of the corporation that signed laws to have the Patriot Act to collect all the evidence of your life and my life too. Aren't you General George Armstrong Custer happy about that, Tom Custers? Okay, anybody got some sewing needles so we can stick some, poke some holes in your ears so your spirit can listen better in the next life? Cavalier and buckskin, huh? All right, guys, I love you. Don't run for president. Don't vote for anything, okay? Be born elect. I want to live the Lord's Prayer and pass it on. No more eternal wretchedness. Wow, I don't play with words. I stop the games with words. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? Peace out, man.